Anyways, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I had a chill day. I was driving around all around the bay getting stuff done. I
All
got to go
right.
to Dutch Bros, so
We love a Dutch Bros run.
yes. How
What's your
about you?
order there?
So I actually did your order this time. I got the
Stop.
blended Kokomo and it was so good.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was happy with that. How
Cool.
was your day?
It was good. It's been a busy week, but a good week. And yeah, I just feel like February has felt so good so far. And like I'm happy at work and it feels good. We
Nice.
just had a team dinner because my manager got a new position. So we had like a little send off for her, and
Hmm.
she hinted that we're going to have some really great news for our year-end compensation reviews next year, which means I'm going to get a fat bonus.
Nice.
So,
That's always good news.
yeah, such a relief.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Good. Good, good. All right. So this episode, I feel like is kind of when I was doing our little flow, I feel like it's very kind of all over the place, but it makes sense once we dive into it. So I was just sitting here thinking, like rather than doing a regular life update like we normally do, um, I don't know why the theme of inner child has been coming up so much, just like in my own thinking, but also I feel like different media that I'm seeing so much inner child stuff.
Yeah.
So, I am curious to know, what do you think your younger self would think of where you are in your life right now? Um, Keeping in mind that we've both accomplished so many things that our younger selves like couldn't even think of.
Yeah.
So, what do you think she would
I
say?
I love that question as an opener, and it's interesting because in therapy I've been doing a lot of like IFS work,
Mhm.
like inner family system work and parts work. And so it feels on theme for my life too. And I love thinking about like little like Janine, like little baby Janine, teenager Janine, like, even young 20s, and thinking about if I had a snapshot of what my life looked like right now, I think I'd be in awe. I think I would be like, oh, that's so awesome. That's so cool. Um, I mean, being engaged to the love of my life, planning a wedding on my terms, having like full family support, owning a home which I designed, working in a company that's, has such great benefits and just like 15 minutes away, like such an easy commute. And in the position that I'm in, like I'm mentoring people, I'm teaching folks, anyways, and then on top of that, like still pursuing passions like human design and psychology related passions. So I think my younger self would like look at the snapshot and be in awe and just be like super proud and super excited for what's to come. So I like thinking
Hmm.
about it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, I just remembered also one of the things that prompted me to even ask this was there was this video that I saw on Instagram, and it was this guy just like chilling in his kitchen, and there was a marker that appeared on the table, and either like a double of himself or a friend or something was like, be careful, like if you touch that marker, like your younger self will show up, like, and they'll be here. And he didn't really want to because he was just seeing all of the things that are going wrong in his life. But
Mhm.
then when his younger self came, he was like, oh my God, like we have our own space. Like you have a job, like you have a car. Can we go on a ride? And it was just, it was so cute. And like, it really did kind of shift my perspective just from seeing that little piece of media. Like, oh yeah, I think sometimes it's really easy to get so, I don't know, in your head, or I don't know, very critical of certain things. But
Mhm.
younger you is just always going to be like, you're amazing. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would love to hear your answer for the same question.
Yeah, for me, I feel like my younger self would also be like, oh my God, like you did so many things that you dreamed about, like you're working on a lot of things that are important to you. The first thing that came to mind that feels just like a huge win is I grew up, I think, having a very critical inner voice,
Mm,
and I don't have that anymore. Like I can confidently say that I even when things like aren't going how they want to go, I approach myself with so much more compassion and like I don't shit talk myself anymore. Like, and I it also shows up in how I interact with people. Like if any loved ones in my life are like shit talking themselves like around
mhm.
me, I'm like, we need to stop. We need to stop
Hold
that.
up.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that was one of the biggest things that I reflected on, just how I relate to myself has changed so much. And that's huge because I feel like it really has been since childhood, all the way up until like a handful of years ago, where it was very hard for me to not be critical or like mean with
Mm,
myself.
yeah.
Um, so that's huge. That in itself, my younger self would be like, I didn't even truly know that that was possible.
Yeah.
And then I think that like also part of um that answer would be that my younger self would be happy that I'm starting to reparent myself and like
Mm,
try to give myself some of those things that like my inner child was like, why didn't I get that? Or
yeah.
I still
I'm
need
like,
that.
yeah.
So I think that is the next maybe like iteration of things that my younger self can be proud of is that I'm
Mhm.
starting to put a little more focus into like actually giving her, okay, what do you actually need like to thrive or like to be happy or to indulge in your creativity, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Trying to give more like time and attention to that.
I love I love that answer so much. And I agree in so many ways too, like especially the reparenting part of like
Mm.
really reflecting on what did I really need that I didn't get, and what do I still need that can give to myself now.
Mhm.
Um, and it just, yeah, it feels really healthy and it feels really good to be able to like take that pause and take that moment of reflection and to be the parent or to be the adult or to be the support system to yourself that you needed or that you still need, um,
Mhm.
that you didn't that you didn't get. Because I mean, even if we have the most incredible parents in the world, there's always going to be something that we needed that was missing that they couldn't give to us. And every child is unique and different in their own ways. So um, yeah, especially over the last couple years, just a lot of what you said, I resonate with a lot. Like, and kind of, I think also, um, I'm very proud of like how I've gotten to know my true self
Mhm.
and how quiet I've gotten in order to listen to like not what I thought I needed, but what I truly needed. Because yeah, I mean, I think that this whole topic could be a podcast conversation in itself. But yeah, I really resonated with what you were saying, and yeah, I agree.
And it can be. That can be an upcoming
It could
episode
totally be an episode.
because that's true. I feel like there's a whole lot to dive into there, like especially when you consider, I like how you brought up different like eras of your life, like little baby Janine, like teenage Janine, like early 20s Janine, because those are, I mean, there's something different in each of those time frames where it's like shit happened, like wants or desires were left on the table, like so much to get into with that. But
Yeah,
for now, we'll put a pin in it
yeah,
and expand at a later time. Because we have to get into some New Year discussion. Like I can't remember, it was either one of the solstice episodes that we did, we were talking about how like January 1st, everyone hypes it up as like, yes, it's the beginning of the calendar year, but it's not really energetic or natural flow New Year.
Yeah.
And as I was like typing up my little notes earlier, I did want to include a little asterisk for any of our listeners who are like hardcore January 1st is the New Year people. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just
Of
think that
course.
for me, over the past few years, it feels so much better to ease into the winter and have New Year be more aligned with like Lunar New Year as winter is ending and spring is about to begin and having that be kind of the transition time.
Yeah.
Um, but I just felt like mentioning that because recently I also attended this Tony Robbins like online summit that he does every
You
year.
did. How cool. I can't wait to hear
So
about it.
it was really cool. I feel like that's a whole other discussion we could get into as well about just like notes that I took. But one of the things that he talks about, like whether it's on a podcast or at the summit, he talks about thinking of life like in seasons. So like when you're super young, like you're in the spring, and then, as you get older, summer, fall, winter. And then
Mhm.
he also talks about how sometimes it doesn't line up with your age because there's also just seasons of life. Like you could be, regardless of what age you're at, you could be like in the depths of winter because of what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And he also talks about it from a business perspective of it's easy to like say how successful you are when you start a business in spring or summer, like I guess metaphorically, because, things are moving, like things are working in those seasons, and it's harder to start a business in winter, but you still can. Like you
Yeah.
totally can. And so that also just kind of
Mm,
like was a little reframe for me. I'm like, okay, well, the people who really are die hard about wanting to start like in the middle of winter, power to ya. I'm
yeah.
taking a break from that.
No, totally. And it makes sense too because like you're the whole world, or at least, the Western world is celebrating New Year's on January 1st. So even though like for me, I'm honoring that still is winter, like even for me, there's still that momentum. There's still kind of like what society is doing, and sometimes it's nice to like line up with that or line up with the calendar years. Like
Yeah.
there's benefits to any way you decide to do it. And I think for us, we found what resonates with us. And I think the whole point of our podcast is whatever is aligned for you as an individual is like what is the right way for you, you know? And
Hmm.
so it's not about judgment. It's not about what's the right or wrong way. There's no right or wrong way. It's like the right way is what feels good and what's nourishing and what's aligned for you. And that could, like you're saying, that could change at any point. That can evolve
Yeah.
at any point in your life. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I think
So,
it's more like an invitation of if that feels really good, go for it. And if it doesn't,
mhm,
there's other ways to look at it. And also like even the way that we're saying like align ourselves with the seasons is fully
mhm.
informed by the hemisphere that we're born in too. Like if we lived in a different hemisphere, we would be having a different
Oh
conversation just
yeah.
because
One of my best
every
friends lives in Argentina and
hmm
she's in a completely different hemisphere than us. January is summer over there, but it's still New
hmm
Year's. So it's very interesting also to have
yeah.
that perspective.
hmm
Yeah.
But so it is about to be Lunar New Year. So
Mhm.
I wanted to dive into what that means for us lately, just kind of a little bit about the energetics. And I know we've mentioned it maybe a few times on here, maybe not, that we're ending the year of the snake. We're starting, approaching very shortly the year of the fire horse.
Hmm.
So do you have a few little things that you wanted to like dive into about that
Yeah,
or?
I mean, just generally, like, I think the year of the snake is about shedding. And it's interesting to kind of look at my life through that lens. Um, and I was reading a little bit about like the year of the horse and kind of like what it means to me. Let me pull my notes back up 1 second.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's about so the year of the snake is kind of about introspection, transformation, shedding of skins, releasing old identities, releasing habits and beliefs that no longer serve you, which is hard to do. And I've been going through a lot of that. And the Chinese astrology sees it as like this wisdom earned through stillness and quiet recalibration, which I think is so beautiful. And then as we move into the year of the horse, the energy becomes more dynamic, freedom seeking. It's the horse is associated with movement, passion, independence. Um, and then there's a note about how when the snake pauses and plans, the horse runs. So it's almost like, to me, it feels like you're shedding your skin. And then this next year is about like kind of discovering your true self or like your transformed self and then running with it. And it seems to me like from what I've been also reading is like there's like this amplifying kind of tone around the year of the horse, um, of like what you're feeling is kind of like mirrored to you and amplified. So I don't know, there's a lot for me to learn still about it, but
Yeah,
I think I've been thinking mostly about like the snake and what it means because we're still in technically like the year of the snake.
yeah,
And it has been feeling like a shedding. I mean, especially as I've been wedding planning, and I've been discussing with Aaron like a lot of just life stuff. Like, what does our
right.
life look like? What feels good as far as like our wedding? What does our wedding look like? How does this affect us? How does it affect our family? And weddings are huge. Like it just brings up all of these different belief systems that have been ingrained in you since, especially as like a woman, since you're a very young age. So, um, yeah. And then there's like all the expectations that I have for my life that I feel like, yeah, there's just been a lot of shedding and transformation. And I feel like it was like, especially towards the end of the snake season, the last like month or so has just been like confronting and
Mm.
difficult, honestly difficult. Like yeah, it's been an intense energy, I think.
Do
Um,
you think that you're feeling, because you're talking about like maybe a little bit touching on unlearning, or I guess sitting with maybe ideas or mindsets that you've had for a really long time.
yeah.
Do you feel like you're still in the process of letting go of some of that, or do you feel like you've started to replace it with something, or
Yeah,
like let it be something else?
I think both. I think so like candidly, we were planning on having a big wedding. I have a lot of family and friends that I would invite, and he has few. Like, he has a really tight community and a really big community. And we already knew we wanted to get married in Mexico. That's really important for us for a number of different reasons. And we spent the last year trying to plan what that looks like, and we're excited about it. And like every week, it was, kind of working from one conversation to the next conversation. And like there's been this building of it. And at the same time, we're both open to elopement. And it just felt like we were trying to force having a big wedding, and like either the timing wasn't right, or the location wasn't right, or the budget wasn't right. And I've been waiting for all of the pieces to align and
Mm,
for something to click, for it to be like, okay, this is it. And we just didn't get to that. And there's a little bit of like mourning and grief about it. Um,
yeah.
and I think like there was a part of me that wanted to like rush through that and then start to um like romanticize elopement, but like I couldn't romanticize elopement without like mourning like this. big wedding that I was like envisioning having. At
Right.
the same time, my freaking Libra ass, like I can argue two sides to any coin. So whether I did a big wedding, I would still kind of probably like wonder what it would have been like to elope. And then same with elopement. Like if I'm gonna elope, I'm probably like there was like this idea of like, well, am I gonna miss out what it's like to have a big wedding? But after all of this, like just sitting with my feelings, really feeling them, like internalizing them, journaling, therapy, talking to my friends, talking with Erin, we we realized, okay, if this is important, what's the most important to us? Yes, a wedding's important to us. Yes, getting married to each other is important to us, but what does that really mean? And if neither of us are um if neither of us are like are if both of us are okay with one way or another, then why continue to stress out and spend all this time, money, and energy when it's like clearly not really working? Um,
Hmm.
and I think the bit like all of that led to this like really beautiful revelation, which is that we want to have a family soon. We want to like start trying for a kid soon.
Hmm.
And ultimately, like, I think that's why we want to get married. Like, to us, like, we feel like we're married. Like, I don't know what is really going to change. We've been living together for many years. Like, we're true partners in our life. We've been through everything together after all these years. The reason we wanted to get married is because we wanted to start a family. So it's like there's this beauty in that. And so
Hmm.
now I'm like my perspective has shifted to like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Like I can't believe
Hmm.
we're gonna, like we're prioritizing wanting to have a family and that means like, okay, we had a big celebration. It's not like we haven't celebrated. We celebrated with 120 of our closest family and friends for our engagement party at my mom's house in the backyard. We had a photographer, a videographer, a band, catering. I mean, it's not like we didn't have a celebration already. And so, like, now I've kind of gotten to the point of like, oh, it's gonna be like this beautiful, intimate ceremony with just he and I, which we haven't done yet. And I'm really
Hmm.
looking forward to. And that means that we can spend that money, time, energy on having a family sooner. Did I answer your question? I just went on a tangent. I know I answered
Yeah.
it, but then I forgot what it was.
Yeah, you totally did. You did because I was asking about if you still felt like you were in the shedding phase or if you feel like things had started to turn over and like what you used to think has been replaced with the new plan or like the new feeling about it.
Yeah.
So
I think
I'm
I'm in the
glad.
process of that, I will say. I don't think I'm on the other side, but I think I'm in the process of it.
Yeah, it sounds like you have it's less about uncertainty and more about just like settling into it though,
Yeah.
almost.
And there's a lot
Yeah.
around like releasing control that I've been like working with too.
Well, that's always good and it's always hard. Releasing
Always hard.
control.
It's always hard.
Um, okay, well, I love that because you, even though I didn't explicitly
Hmm.
ask, like my first question was, what have you been actively shedding? You answered it.
Yeah,
So
I
you've
did.
been like working through all the relationship and the next steps of life, all of that.
Yeah. I, I have another answer to that too, but I want to hear yours first and then I'll get into my part two. So
Um,
what have you been actively shedding over the final stretch of the year of the snake?
Definitely a false sense of safety in physical things. And I remember at the beginning of 2025, like you and me, we went and got pho, we talked about life. And one of the things that like hit me really hard at the beginning of 2025 was this realization that like um having physical things or like overconsumption in various parts of my life, whether it's buying too much or like emotional eating, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that has been like a coping mechanism for, I don't know, that I've just used throughout my life, maybe for times when I haven't felt enough or I haven't felt grounded or I haven't felt yeah, I guess grounded would be the
Mhm.
best word. Like
Yeah.
something is wrong and what am I going to do to fix it rather than just sit with it.
Yeah.
And so that's been something that I've been actively working on over this past year. And I feel like I've made a ton of progress. And I also, when I was even thinking about this question earlier, I had the realization, okay, this is like a learned behavior for my
Mm.
whole life. Of course, it's gonna take me like a while to finish the shedding of it, but also a while to replace it with a new way of being and a new way of relating to things in my physical space.
Yeah.
Um, but I also remembered that this is also a family system that I inherited
Oh, okay.
because that way of coping and unintentionally emphasizing scarcity, so needing to cling to things,
Mm.
like is something that has been, around in our family, in
Mm.
terms of having just like too many physical things, that don't have emotional value, that don't have like much value at all, that are just sitting and like taking up space and energy.
Yeah.
So I would say that, yeah, that's what I've been really focused on. I am feeling pretty good about my goal of having like most of my cleaning and clearing done by Lunar New Year. So I think I have like what, 6 more days
Mhm.
of getting stuff done and I'll feel really good. The room has been like a work in progress, but I'm like nearing the end. So I'm happy that it's kind of coinciding with the beginning of a new energetic year.
Awesome. I'm so proud of you. I know it's like it takes a lot of effort to do, and you've like been putting the work in for a long time now.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
and it's been rewarding because I think I realized, okay, I don't just have like a clutter issue, like it's a deeper issue that's going on.
yeah, you're
So,
healing like the actual part of the you're healing the root of where it's coming from versus the symptom.
yeah, so I think this time around, because I've tried many times in the past, but I think this time around I'm like, okay, like I've made like if you just take a look around, like there's a visible difference in like how things used to be in the physical space and how they are now. And it
Mhm.
makes me feel hopeful about what it'll be like going forward. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my
Oh,
answer to
proud of
that
you.
one.
I love that.
Thank you. Um, okay, going into the next actual question, with a quick note first, but what are you hoping to create over the next year? And my little note, I thought it was really cool. I need to look up more from this creator. Her name is Anna Tsui,
Hmm.
and she was explaining that a lot of people have been saying that this upcoming year is back to year one.
Hmm.
But she was saying, no, it's actually year 10, and the
Yeah.
zero is really important. That it's a balance between new beginnings, and zero represents like the universe or God or source. And so it's really important to have both of them because it's like you're blazing towards your new beginnings and you're also fully supported by like God, the universe. Which I just felt like was a really good message right now. Like
I know. That
the
like it made
world.
me emotional, honestly, because I've seen both too, but when I was reviewing our notes for the episode, it didn't hit me. But as you read it out loud right now, like this idea of like creating something new and having like God be present, like you said something that clicked for me and how you said it, but it just made me reflect on like, oh, I want to create life this year. And that
Hmm.
sounds like a beautiful year to do that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a needed message right now. I know that like throughout history things are crazy, but just this time that we're living through right now is,
Fucked up.
yeah, to put it very lightly. Um,
Yeah.
and also reading and hearing from this creator, I don't know why, like also over the past few months, I've been wanting to dive more into spirituality and like just reading about different religions and all of that because I feel like that has been something that's missing from my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I also just I really loved that that was the message. It's like you're starting again. God is there with you. Like you don't need to be afraid. You just need to like go for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm gonna look
yeah.
her up after this.
hmm We'll link it. We'll link it also below so people can
Check
go
it
find
out.
her if they want to. But how about you go first for this one too? So like do you want to expand a little bit more? You said
Yeah.
you're excited about starting a family, but like what else are you hoping to create over this next year?
Yeah, I think like kind of I alluded to it in the beginning of the episode, but um I've been working with my therapist, like doing like parts therapy, and it's interesting because I want to the next certification that I'm gonna do is to learn about like somatic healing and parts therapy and IFS work. And then I want to combine that with my yoga teacher training and my human design certification. So this is something I've been working towards for a while, but yeah, I think I just want to continue like working on doing the foundational work to then launch my own brand. Um, and I think for me, it's important to like feel like I'm prepared and like I have a strong foundation and vision before I like put offerings out there. And so a lot of that right now is me building that foundation. And similarly, in the next few months, like I'm building the foundation of like what Erin and I want to do and how we want to be to start a family. So
Mm,
yeah, it just feels really exciting.
I love that.
Well, basically following my dreams. That's what I'm creating. I'm turning my dreams into reality this year.
Yes.
Yeah, in
I
career
love
and
it.
in family and
Yeah.
relationships.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, for me, I put that, or I think that this is going to be a year where I'm building a really strong foundation. And it sounds dramatic, but I feel like this next year is really going to set the tone and the foundation for like the next many years of my life.
Mm.
Because
Oh yeah.
similar to you, this is a huge transition year. We're moving again. I'm going to reapply to grad school and I will start a program next year. I'm going to apply to like a handful of schools this year and wherever I get in, I'm going to make it work because I'm like ready to take that next step.
Yeah.
Um, and then, we're also like talking about what is it going to look like to start a family in the next few years.
Mhm.
And so, even though it's a few years away, like we're starting to have those discussions and do some like little planning now.
Of course.
So, it all just feels like a lot. I don't want to say like a lot, like there's a lot of pressure for this year, but it's more like it's exciting
Mm.
because we get to like I get to decide with Eddie and I get to decide for myself, okay, like what are all the things that I'm taking with me into this next phase of my life um, to be able to sustain me for like what that next phase of life is going to be because it's going to be crazy. Like it's like school and then starting a family and then deciding where we're going to be. It's going to be a lot and it's going to happen a lot faster than it feels right now.
But you
So,
know what I love about that? And we're gonna have to start a new Zoom in a second.
okay.
You know what I love about that is I think for both of us, yeah, maybe it feels like, oh, this is all going to happen really quickly, but like realistically, how long have we been talking about this? How long have we been planning for these things in our life? How long have we been working towards this moment? So like it might feel like it's happening fast, but really we've like been building this for several years. You know what I mean? You've done
hmm
so much research for grad school. You have put so much time and energy into like everything that you just shared, as far as like family stuff, grad school, like career building, like brand building, and then same for me. Like it feels like quick that Aaron and I are like, okay, let's have a baby this year, but like realistically, we've been talking about it for years and now we feel ready. So it's like it's kind of like we've been moving slow to move fast. That's what it feels like. And I think that is kind of
Yeah.
the theme of like moving from the snake to the horse. It's like you've been moving slow, you've been shedding, you've been growing, you've been like creating this foundation for so long, and then it's going to be like we're going to take off and it's just going to friggin' happen. And
Yeah.
I'm
I
already
like that
starting to
visual.
feel a little bit of that energy right now. Like this, like spring is starting to percolate. The little
Hmm.
flowers, the little like cherry blossoms are out and about. It feels like it feels like we're like getting ready to like take off in like warp speed time,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
for
in an
real.
exciting way.
No, it does. It feels very
Yeah.
exciting. It doesn't feel daunting or overwhelming.
Yeah.
Um, and then, another thing that I'm really hoping to just spend more time on in this next year is just like more spaciousness through my creativity.
Yeah.
Um, and I really like, I know I've been saying it, but I started getting more ideas just this week about things that I want to write and like my intention with sharing like those thoughts with people like via Substack. Um, which we can get into like once we press record again. I'm just going to go on a little tangent. I don't even know if we'll keep this in, but I don't know if you read the article that I sent you about AI.
Not yet.
Um, but after reading that, it made me like re-remember what my intention was initially when I was dreaming of starting like my own creative space or my brand or like what I want to offer people. Like through therapeutic work, but also just through creative work. Um, and it just gave me a lot of ideas about, okay, like I feel like human creativity is going to be the next thing that is almost going to be like gold to people because there are so many people that are outsourcing our humanity,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah. I've
outsourcing
been,
the ability to think. They're trying to outsource the ability to feel because they're using AI as a friend or a romantic space or whatever it is. And I want to lean into that. Like, I don't want to say like, no AI, I'm never going to use it. Like, I want to find a way to integrate it so that way I can show people like this is a cool tool and we need it for, some things, but like we're human and like it's so good here and like we can't lose that. Like it's so precious to us.
yeah,
So I just got a little like revamp of that this week.
I love it. That's a good pausing point right there.
Yes.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
All right, we are back from our commercial break.
Yes, back to the scheduled programming. Um, but anyways, just yeah, I feel a new like little burst of energy after reading that article and then like kind of remembering what even started me to want to like start building a creative space or start building something for myself that can eventually um like sustain me for work. So yeah, it was a nice little re-remembering little burst this week too.
I think that's so important because so much can change. And then so to be reminded of like the core reason why something is important to you, and then the fact that that hasn't changed and that it was like a re-remembering that like gave you that energy, I think is so beautiful. Um, One of my fears for some reason is that I'm gonna like want something for so long and then suddenly like change my mind about it after I like worked really hard to get to that point. And I didn't realize, I think I'm like realizing this in like real time. I think it's because of like my career of working really, really hard to become an interior designer and then one day just feeling like this isn't aligned. And like feeling like I needed to start over, but I never really started over. Like all of my knowledge transferred into like different skills or skills that I could apply other places. But anyways, I think it's beautiful to like have that remembering and to like sit in that grounding energy of like there's a true purpose here and there's a true reason here. And I agree. Like I think there's a lot of AI taking over right now, and AI is, especially in corporate, we use AI every single day for everything. And you can see it too, like within like the spiritual collective space, like on Instagram. Like I can tell now when the creators that I've been following for years are using a chat GPT like assist for their prompts. Like the cadence
Hmm.
is so, so obvious. Even if you're changing it, it's so obvious. Um,
Yeah.
and so to be a creator that is using your own words and using Substack as a tool and um, still using AI, but like more as an addition to instead of a replacement of, it's totally the future. It's going to be it's super valuable.
Yeah. I'm just I don't know, there's something about it. And I want to go read more articles like as stuff first coming out because I mean, I don't know how much research has even been done on human interaction with AI in terms of how it affects social emotional skills or cognitive process. Like I know I've seen some like facts and figures about the cognitive processing, how when people rely on it too much, there's a clear decline in their ability to just think in general,
And
which is really,
it just came out, and that's already affecting people. Imagine like 10
yeah,
years from now.
not even 10 years from now. That's why I read that article I sent you
Okay.
because it's from someone who has been in that industry for the past few years.
hmm
So he's writing it to inform people who haven't been working in that industry for the past few years. And he actually, in a strange way, convinced me to start paying for the actual like I forget what it's not premium, whatever ChatGPT, like the monthly one that you have to pay for, because he was talking about one of the things that he was talking about is people don't have a clear idea of the strength of what AI can do just as of the past few weeks with the new updates, because a lot of people, myself included, are still using the free version of
Mm.
these AI bots. And he's like, if you pay the $20 a month, you're gonna see real quick
Oh yeah.
that this is about to maybe within the next 6 months, maybe like up to 2 years, take over a lot of different spaces, like, and a
So
lot of,
I'm there. Like I
mhm,
work for a company who our AI is integrated and it's paid for. So we're
mhm,
using it. Let me give you an example. So we're using Gemini. And for Gemini, you can create a gem, and a gem is basically like um a bot that has like a character. So like for example, I created a gem who is an admin, and I
mhm.
basically gave it my job title, and like you're basing it feeding it all the information that you want. I could also like create a gem who is a chief of staff or who's a vice president of product or who's a marketer. Like you can basically create these like gems or like personalities or whatever, and then it'll like it is very different than having a free version.
Yeah,
And then even like for example, right now I'm planning our 2026 offsite for our entire team. So we're like I'm working with an event planner to help like figure out what hotel we're staying in. I have to like pay attention to policy. There's all of this back and forth. Then I have to like talk to my marketing leadership team to like let them know and like make sure it's aligned with them, blah, blah, blah. So I have this one conversation with Gemini that I just go into that conversation anytime that I'm working on my offsite, and I give it my updated information. So today, one of my business partners asked, "Oh, can you remind me again what all the details are?" I'm like, went to my freaking Gemini conversation, uploaded the contract, and I said, can you create an executive high level summary of what my senior marketing director needs to share with my VP? 30 like not 3 seconds.
yeah.
All the information that I needed, that would have taken me so long if I was using the free version or if I just didn't have any AI to begin with to like,
Right.
let me go to my Google Doc. Okay, well, this is like, this Google Doc is catered for like what information I need, but let me think about what the VP needs to know in order for us to like kind of convince her, like, we've already thought, like, it would have just, it took 3 seconds because Gemini already has all of the work that I've been doing for the last couple months on this offsite.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. There's that. And then I'm
But guess
also,
what? They're still making me work 40 fucking hours a week. I saved
I,
up 10 hours like in this project so far.
mm,
Anyways,
um, but there's that part of it, but I'm like really like I really want to dive into like in my own time and like research what the implications are going to be for just relationally, like people who are growing up with having this available to them. Like, remember we had chat rooms like growing up? This is,
Yahoo Pool.
yeah. Or like the little MySpace chat rooms.
Yeah.
Like this is such like a different level. So I'm so curious to see like what's going to happen, like what counterculture is going to do to try to correct some of this because we already see that kids growing up with screens is not good. Like it's already studied, like we know that it's bad. Like all the screen time and all the flashing lights like is fucking up their brains. So I'm wondering, okay, like AI is going to make a lot of stuff so much more accessible to people. And what is the cost of that going to be?
Are young children going to learn how to think for themselves when they can just look things up easily?
Yeah, and then it also, who's controlling the information that's available through AI? Because what they show you and like what they filter for your answers, like what bias is going to be built into those systems.
Hmm.
So those are all things that like I sit around and I'm just like, what's gonna happen? Like I feel like that's my little obsession. But yeah, that's the end of my rant
I
for
could
now.
I could go on and on and on, but we'll leave it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to kind of like wrap up our conversation here, um, I had a thought that a lot of there's a lot of different ways to just kind of get to the same thing about so many things, right? And one of
Hmm.
them in like the wellness space that you'll know, like remember core desired feelings from Danielle Lepore,
Hmm.
and then values, like no one owns that term, but I just think of the values worksheet from Brene Brown as
Yeah.
being really popular and like a lot of people know about it. And then
Yeah.
just the idea of like what is your North Star? Like what do you have your attention on and it's kind of like your guiding principle or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm curious if you have any thoughts about what would that be for you? Like what is your anchor or something that's going to guide you as we're starting this new year and like starting on our like different endeavors as this new energetic year starts.
My answer is a story.
Hmm.
In therapy this week, my therapist had me close my eyes and imagine like what is my like most wise 80 version of myself say to myself right now in this moment. And I laughed and I said, "Girl, chill. Like enjoy life. Enjoy where you're at
Hmm.
and really just be present in this moment." So, my funny word is girl chill. My phrase is my North Star is to just kind of chill out and the embodiment of that is really like to be present and to be grateful um and just this reminder that it's good to have goals and it's good to like have a vision for what the future is, but it's also really important to just enjoy what life looks like right now.
Mm,
And so I think I really needed that in this moment
yeah.
because I've had a lot of like, I've been struggling a lot with like, well, I had this plan and I had that plan and the timeline keeps changing. And then what does this mean? And like, what if one decision affects all the other decisions? And then my lifestyle and then finances. And it's just like, it has been feeling really, really, really overwhelming lately. And the worry isn't making me feel good and it's not really getting me anywhere and it's not really giving me positive momentum anyways. And so I think I think my North Star, at least right now in this moment, is to just like chill, relax, have a good time, enjoy the ride.
I love that. And I agree. I feel like that's very timely for you. Like, I feel like that'll be good for you to carry this year because things have been chaotic, like a lot of different changes. And like, there's a lot of beautiful stuff that, like, there to enjoy and like upcoming for you.
Yeah.
So I hope you can enjoy it all and just soak it all up over this
And
next year.
my nephew is 6 months old and he's literally the light of my life.
It's so
He's so,
cute.
he's so cute. So like anytime that I'm like in a rush to like have my remodel be done, finish my house, like rent it out, move to Mexico, like anytime where I'm like, oh, but like our timeline and this and that, then I'm like, yeah, but look what I get to enjoy by like staying around. Like, look how, like, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I'm trying, I think kind of also when you pointed out like this desire to kind of like get back into spirituality and studying different like religions and different forms of spirituality. That always resonates with me, and I feel like I think I could use a little bit of that right now too. Just like maybe some like Buddhist mindset shift is necessary.
Yeah. And what's interesting about that is I, for a really long time, and I still don't feel called to any particular religion.
Hmm.
Um, but I follow like a variety of different people online. Like I follow people who are more like left-leaning, more moderate, like more conservative and maybe like more Christian, like along the spectrum. Um, and I don't know what it is, but over the past like 2 months, like I've been seeing some really like pretty Bible verses that have been shared or just like posts about like certain verses and it
Mm.
just hits and I'm like, oh, I like there's so much I haven't read any parts
Scripture.
of the Bible in so long,
Yeah.
but I almost because they were like authentic responses from me,
Yeah.
like a physical response. I'm like, you know what? Maybe this year I'll start like going through it and seeing like my own interpretation of it because I still feel very strongly against like any organized religion. I don't know that that will change, but um the Bible is not organized religion. It's something different. And it feels like kind of inviting. So I might start like peeping into it this year.
Yeah. There's also apps too, like Aaron's family often shares in our group chat like a screenshot of an app that they have of like
A
really
verse a day.
beautiful. Yeah, and that could be a nice way to like incorporate it too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also think that maybe there's a little portion of me that like I see people use all sorts of different religious texts in a bad way, or at least I perceive it as a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think maybe there's also some motivation to be grounded in what is actually there so
Mm-hmm.
I can feel good about knowing like okay, they're misusing this like and it's not being done in an appropriate way. I want to have like some more knowledge around that.
Yeah, that's
Um
awesome.
so yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but yes to more spirituality this year.
Yeah. Well, what for you, what is your core desired feelings or values or North Star?
Um, the one that I think is pretty encompassing is just like feeling grounded or feeling a sense of groundedness in my life.
Hmm.
Because there's been a lot of different shifts over the past few years, like whether it was moving physical locations, moving jobs, just like getting married, like different life transitions. And so I'm looking forward to a season where like even if like things around me are shifting, where I just have a sense of being more rooted in something.
Mm.
Um, which for me, I think that's going to be like, once we move into our next spot and I start like nesting and making the space our own,
Yeah.
that will bring a lot of peace, to be able to like stabilize me as other things might shift.
Mm.
But yeah, I really want to be grounded in in that aspect. I want to feel more grounded in um like my vision for my life, to kind of like propel me towards the things that I need to do to make it happen.
Hmm.
Because I think also as like as things have happened, that has kind of like occasionally waned a little bit, like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Like, is this really the path that I should be on?
Mm.
And I always come back to yes, like this is gonna be a good path for me. But I think there's still a tiny gap between I know the direction I need to go, and I could be doing a little bit more to push myself along. Like
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
in a I'm being critical of myself, but just being real. Like, okay, well, yes, we decided this is the right path, and yes, it feels good and aligned. And now like there's a lot of work to be done, to make it happen,
Mm.
which I think is honestly still something that I struggle with, like wrapping my head around like it feels like a lot to get from like point A to point whatever, like where my dream life is. And some of that is right now, but some of it is going to require like a lot of work to get there. Um,
I think too, though, like surrounding yourself in the right environment is such a helpful factor of that. Like when you have the space that feels like it's empowering you, I think it'll maybe feel like less of a hurdle to like dedicate yourself to like the hard work. You know what I mean? I think when we're um not to say that you're dysregulated, but for me, like when I'm dysregulated, it makes everything like harder. And
mhm.
so I think in those moments where it feels like there's a lot to be done and a lot of work and we like doubt ourselves or doubt that how much discipline it's going to take, I think that's like an invitation to like regulate your nervous system and create like a space within you that feels safe and feels regulated so that way you can take anything on.
Yeah. And I think
Because you
it,
work hard. Like when you're in the right mindset, when you have the energy, you freaking, for example, your planner that you created, I mean, you did that like so quickly. I think when you're I think when you're in the right when you're in the right mindset and when you have the motivation, which you will, like for example, for grad school and for your Substack and for everything else that's on your list, I think especially I'm going to bring human design into this. For generators, like it's important for you to feel inspired. And so if you can like make your body feel regulated and like tap into like a space that feels good for you, then the inspiration is going to generate all of the energy for you to just like tackle on all the things that you're excited about.
yeah, no, it's more like structuring my life to be what I know it can be. Like just for one example, and I think another part of it too is I struggle with not being able to do everything all at once and recognizing, oh, it's going to take baby steps or I need to just like take this slow so I don't burn out. That's a huge thing for me.
Okay.
And So this time around, I definitely feel better, like going into this vision of what I want my life to be. I think just I do fall into little moments of, oh, it's going to be so much work, but that's okay. Um, but just like one example of what I'm
Sorry if I
talking
like
about.
totally misread that and like went
N-
on my like a little
No,
tangent.
no, like one thing that is not necessarily going to feel good at first, but I need to do it, is starting my day earlier. Like I know, I know that it's
So
good.
hard.
I know that successful people don't be sleeping in. Like they're waking up early, they're doing their shit, like then they're doing their work. And that is just like,
Why do you gotta
that's
be
just,
rude to me like that?
that is just how it is. And like, I know that I feel good when I'm waking up early. Um, but it's unreasonable to sit here and be like, okay, I have this. I know that it's going to be good for me. And so now, for the next month without any mess ups, I'm just going to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. It's like, no, that's not going to happen because I haven't done that in years. And so what I've been doing is I've been like 2 to 3 days a week, I've been waking up at 5, like as my starting point. And I've done that like for the past now, I guess, month and a half. And so now I'm going to ramp it up a little bit more, like as we're getting into this energetic new year, as we're getting into the spring. And I feel like spring and summer are going to be great to like really what's the word I'm looking for? Just really like have it stick as a habit because the sun is going to be coming up so much earlier, and so that's going to also make me feel really good waking up extra early because the sun's out.
Mm,
And then by the time fall and winter roll around, my body will be used to it. But it's just like taking a second to acknowledge, okay, like I'm gonna get there, but
mm,
I'm not gonna get there all at once. Like I need to take baby steps to make sure that I'm gonna be successful.
mm,
Um, but I just mean that sometimes I sit here and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be so much, or like that's so much time. So I think it's more of like an acceptance thing. Um, because I know I'll get there, but also it's unrealistic just to be like, oh, well, you're just gonna change like that, like immediately.
mm. I love how you explain that.
But I'm getting there. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be a
I mean, a
morning
month and
person
a
this
half of
year.
2 days waking up at 5 a.m., that's definitely progress.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good year. That was a
And
huge thing.
at any point, if you're like, all right, I'm gonna wake up 4 days at 5, like you have the choice to do that, but I like the way you're structuring it.
Yeah, I'm trying to atomic my habits or atomic habits my way
Yeah.
into a better life 1% every day.
Yeah, 1% every day, baby.
Yeah. And that is all I had for us today. Do you have any closing thoughts or anything that came up as we're finishing up?
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. I'm so excited.
I'm really
Like,
excited. I think it's going to be a really great one. And honestly, like 2025 was a beautiful year. Um, every year is going to have its ups and downs, but I'm really, really looking forward to what 2026 brings and what the year of the horse brings and and this momentum. Also,
yeah.
I've been watching a lot of like Yellowstone, and
Oh,
so I mean, I'm on point with like the year of the horse right now. I'm watching horses every day.
are
So
you guys watching the spin-offs? Or are
yeah, we
you
we just finished 1883, and then last night we finished 1923.
we haven't started them yet. Really good.
Yeah, really good. I'm like, what do
Okay.
we do now? We're done.
I know Eddie was just talking about that like a few days ago. He's like, I miss watching Yellowstone every night. I'm like, I know. But we actually have those two other shows that we could watch, so we should dive into that soon.
Yeah, yeah, do it.
I will. All right,
Well, thank
girl.
thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and we hope the Year of the Horse is amazing to you. If you'd like to follow us, you can follow me at JanineLayla.flow and Emily.
Yes, and if you want to follow me, I'm gonna say just go to Substack because that'll make me post something soon. So check out Substack. I'm at Tending Your Wild. That's my accountability to get a post up soon.
Do it, girl. It's going to be great. And then if you want to
Yes.
follow Erin and I and our little travel vlog, we're at Paths of Freedom on YouTube and also now on Instagram. So, um, yeah, that's where you
Yes.
can find us.
Awesome.
All
All right. Well,
right.
thank you for doing this with me today.
I love
Love
you.
you too. I
Talk
will
to
talk
you
to you soon.
soon. Bye.
Bye.